Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's me, MT, and with Spider-Man No Way Home just a few mere weeks away, everybody has been wondering just what Peter Parker's life is going to look like after this new Spider-Man 3 hits theaters. Because not only have the stakes never been higher for a lean, clean Spider-Teen from Queens when the Spider-Verse comes to mess up the routine, but Tom Holland himself had been making us sweat lately by casting doubts on his future as the wisecracking arachnid kid, child, man. But hey, luckily for us, Sony Pictures executive Amy Pascal saved the day by announcing 3 new Tom Holland Spider-Man movies set in the MCU, right? And plus with Venom 2 ending with Inky and the Bane in the MCU and Morbius including posters of Spider-Man and a whole ass Michael Keaton as Vulture, everything should be totally cool, right? It seems like everything's fine. Yeah, technically, not exactly. Look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, I really do, but both Sony executive Amy Pascal's comments about the next Spider-Man trilogy, as well as the title No Way Home itself, kind of feel like very strong indicators that this film, No Way Home, will probably end with Peter Parker stuck in a meshed up Sonyverse pocket reality with no way back to his home MCU universe for some time. Well, okay, let's go ahead and Speculation Nation. Starting with breaking down what Amy actually said during her big announcement of Sony's continued workings with Marvel Studios, because Amy be sounding mighty suspicious. Amy said, "This is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We are going to make this next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. It's just not part of... We're thinking of doing this as 3 films, and now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies." Okay, so the only things Amy Pascal has actually confirmed with this quote are 1, a continued partnership with Marvel Studios, 2, 3 new Spider-Man films that will be made in partnership with Marvel, and 3, that the next film, singular, will involve Tom Holland. As far as I could glean, Amy Pascal did not announce a new Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy, just that he'll be in the next film. Until she says that, that's all we heard. That's all she said. But time out, wait a minute. The most sketchy thing about what Amy Pascal just said is that she says, but it's just not what, Amy? What were you going to say? Well, if I were to guess, I strongly hypothesize that Amy Pascal was just going to say that the next Spider-Man film was just not going to be in the main MCU universe. And here's why I think this. I think the answer to this lies entirely within that very box Peter Parker is going to be lugging around throughout the entire course of this movie. And if you haven't seen my past video on what could be inside of this box, I highly recommend that you watch that video before you watch this one. But in a nutshell, I suggest that this box is a pocket reality prison that Professor Oak gives Peter Ash Ketchum Parker to go chase down the new visitors from the Sony Spider-Verse and catch them all and trap them into this one big meshed together Sony pocket reality universe in this big magic Pokeball hypercube. A pocket reality seemingly protected by symbols similar to those sanctum markings the wizards of the MCU use to protect the MCU planet. It's what keeps Dormammu out. However, once Fred, Daphne, and Shaggy Scooby-Doo this shit and trap your, Sam Raimi Doc Ock, your Mark Webb Electros, and possibly even your Tom Hardy Venom symbiotes into this Sony PlayStation, and Strange is about to channel all of this Sony PlayStation energy from the Sony Cube back to their respective universes, this is when Strange is going to tell Peter the fate of all of these intruders that Peter literally just went around and caught, just rounded up. Like right before he's about to send all these ghosts back to their respective realities, he's like, "Oh, by the way, you just sent all these people in the box to die." And Peter's like, "Well, gotta take the box." Even though they are technically his enemies from different universes, he refuses to let them die. And why does he do this? Well, Peter Parker is just a good person, but also, I would say that the power over life and death is a pretty big power to have. And, I hear that with great power, there must also come great responsibility. And that is, to me, what is going to be the major theme of this movie. This movie is literally going to start with Steve not having a blue's clue how to act responsibly around an impressionable child after Wang specifically told him not to cast the spell. And the new No Way Home trailer very much intentionally has Doctor Strange go out of his way to shove all of that multiverse blame on an awkward teenager because Erisham forbid the arrogant Stephen Strange make a mistake. He's the Sorcerer Supreme, so why would he make a mistake? It's obviously got to be the boy's fault. And hey, our friends at Upstart want you to be able to open up the gift of getting out from under credit card debt this holiday season. And I know you can't really wrap that and put it under a tree, but trust me, It's a really great gift. I will literally take 20 of those. But Upstart can help you make that final payment so that you can break the cycle of debt and get ahead. Upstart is a fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. And whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment. And Upstart knows that you are more than just your credit score and is expanding access to affordable credit. And rather than looking at credit score alone, Upstart considers other factors like your income, current employment, and credit history to find you a smarter rate for your loan. And you can check your rate without impacting your credit score in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 and receive funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. So find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/newrockstars. That's upstart.com/newrockstars and use our URL to let them know that we sent you. Upstart.com/newrockstars. And because this responsibility is so great, instead of leaving all of these Spider-Man villains to die, I predict that Peter Parker will pull a Sony Stark and sacrifice his life and home as he knows it to become the protector of this new Sony reality. You know, much like his new mentor, Doctor Strange, because, you know, bearded science bros for life. And you know, because Peter Parker isn't the only hero in this movie, much like Peter will, you know, take cues and learn lessons from Doctor Strange himself will also likely be schooled in a lesson in responsibility as Peter's actions, fueled by his immense sense of responsibility, starts to lift Strange's own arrogance as he heads into Multiverse of Madness. Because you gotta remember that in Doctor Strange 1, the main thing that he learned was selflessness. His arrogance is still very much intact. And I can't imagine a Doctor Strange more arrogant than a Doctor Strange who just saved half of the universe from Thanos. And this is why I believe that Sony has officially stated Morbius as not occurring within the MCU main universe, despite having posters of Raimi's Spider-Man and references to Venom in the trailers. Because the universe that Morbius is in technically isn't within the main MCU universe. It would be a separate pocket universe within the overall MCU multiversal continuity. And this box is what I believe will exemplify Amy Pascal and Sony's partnership with Marvel Studios. Like, Marvel Studios would effectively be giving Sony permission to rent out space in this box within the MCU, where technically everything that happens within this box is part of MCU continuity without having the events of what happens in this box affect the actual canon of the main MCU universe that we know. Because Sony and Marvel, at the end of the day, are two different companies with two different creative visions. And so, all in all, and again, I hate to be the one to say it, and God, do I hope I'm wrong, but Spider-Man No Way Home could very well be the start of Sony's, you know, semi-reclamation of their Spider-Man character, with Sony producing their own Spider-Man films inside of this Doctor Strange box for a while, until, you know, the main MCU universe needs your Peter Parkers or your Miles Morales for their bigger crossover events, like Secret Wars Avengers movie or something. Because regardless of how we feel about it, Sony has always been dead set on building their own Sonyverse of Spider-Man characters outside of their deal with Marvel Studios. So Peter Parker was never going to stay forever. But hey, what do you guys think about this possibility of Peter potentially leaving the MCU for a little while? Let us know in the comment section below, my beautiful nerd baby children. But of course, you can follow me at MasterTainment if you want to see me tweet some weird shit and some wild theories. But more importantly, please follow New Rockstars wherever we are on social media, especially on Twitter and on YouTube. When you do on YouTube, make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get notifications every time we upload a video. And also, please be sure to hit up newrockstarsmerch.com so you can get cool shirts like this. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.